Hi again, everyone. Chris Tisdell here again. In this presentation, I'm going to share with you some of my tips to influence, motivate, and inspire students to learn. So this presentation is designed for teachers and students alike. Now, the tips that I'm going to share with you are based on a successful application of mine for an Australian Award for University Teaching. So I hope you find them useful. Let me share my screen with you and I can share some of my tips. All right, approaches to teaching that influence, motivate, and inspire students to learn. Okay, so I can summarize the presentation through the following 3 dot points. And this is the way that I teach to influence, motivate, and inspire students to learn. First of all, I motivate student engagement through content, with content through context. So that's sometimes called contextualization. And essentially what you want to do is just keep things relevant. Secondly, I try to be a role model to my students. And thirdly, I engage the audience to enhance their learning process. Okay, so they're my 3 tips, broad tips. Now let me go through some examples and talk about each of those dot points a little bit more in detail. All right, contextualization. Now I teach mathematics and most of the students in mathematics courses have the subject thrust upon them as some sort of mandatory requirement for their degree. But really, no matter what the cohort is, there's always 2 questions that come up. Why are we learning this? And when will I ever use this stuff? So how can you answer these questions through your teaching? Well, here's what I do. I emphasize the relevance of the content to students learning within their professional, disciplinary, and personal contexts. So for example, in the subject that I teach, mathematics, I really emphasize that mathematics is the enabling discipline, and I show how it provides the foundation and framework necessary for major advancements within such fields as science, engineering, technology, and finance, because that's where my students come from. Okay, so how do I know these approaches work? Well, I try to measure the success of these approaches. Okay, so let me share a little bit of evidence with you that I included in my application. Okay, so I asked the students this following question in anonymous student feedback, and the statement was, this lecturer made the topic relevant. And then there were percentage of students who agreed. So you can see here, I averaged my percentage over 12 courses, and it's 99%. If I compare that with faculty and school averages, it's slightly above the averages for those settings. I also like to collect qualitative evidence. So here's a fairly long piece of student feedback, again anonymous. I was impressed with the way Dr. Tisdell linked each section of the course and let ideas develop in a way that seemed natural and logical. All of his lectures were extremely relevant, and he always strived to ensure that links were made between the material and its real-life applications. Okay, so pretty humbling comment, right? That's a really good one. So I've tried to measure the effectiveness of what I do through both quantitative and qualitative evidence, and it's a good check on quality and quality assurance. Okay, so that's the first dot point taken out of the way. What about being a role model? All right, so as a teacher, I see myself as an ambassador of the discipline and also the education profession. And so I believe I have a serious responsibility to be a role model and a mentor to my students. Okay, so let's look at an example. So being a role model to me includes displaying a love of mathematics or whatever you're teaching and a desire for others to love it too, and also being genuinely excited about teaching and honestly enthusiastic about students understanding the ideas. So in summary, be passionate about your discipline and be really excited about teaching it and other people learning it. Now, again, let me show you a little bit of evidence that I gathered on the success of being a role model. Okay, here are some comments. Again, all anonymous. Chris's enthusiasm for the subject is brilliant. It rubs off on the students and personally got me excited about the topics. You love maths and you love teaching it, and you made me love maths again. I intend to become a maths teacher, and he is a great role model. Okay, so some fantastic comments there. So being a role model, I think, is really important. Okay, so the last of the 3 dot points. Engagement. Engage the audience. Engage the audience to enhance the learning process. So what I try to do is engage an audience to enhance the learning process by blending excitement, elements of fun, and audience participation into the educational experience. Now, of course, those things will be different for everybody. Different teachers teach different ways. So I think it's important to work out what works for you. But again, let me share you just a little bit of evidence on the success of that. Again, anonymous student feedback. He made lectures exciting and worthwhile. The way he teaches is motivating and inspiring. I've never enjoyed learning a mathematics course as much as his lectures ever before. Okay, so that's what's worked for me. What are your suggestions for teachers to motivate, inspire, and engage their audiences to help them to learn? If you have any comments, put them in the comment section, because different techniques will work for different people. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. Let me know if you tried any of the tips, how you go. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later. Bye.